Hello, my name is Giselle Lee. I'm a staff writer for NextShark. We write stories about Asians, Asian stories, and obviously The Cleaning Lady is a very inspirational story about Asian people. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you, Elodie, for speaking with me today. Yeah, so I just want to get started with Elodie's character, Tony. She's a very intelligent young woman.
Not that young. Not that young, Giselle. Not as young as maybe you are. In her 40s, let's just put it out there.
She's a very intelligent woman. She's a doctor.
Yes.
But she's in the States currently as an undocumented immigrant trying to get by as a cleaning lady. Miranda, how did you come up with this story? It's very real. It's a very heartfelt story. Obviously, many people can relate, not just to her personal struggles, but also being a parent, a person trying to help her son. Where did you get this inspiration from?
Well, the original format was an Argentine series that was found by Shay Mitchell, and she brought that to Warner Brothers. So I was inspired to adapt this to create a story of someone who is a doctor in the Philippines who came to the US as an undocumented immigrant. And I was inspired to tell that story because it is a universal story. It is a story of a mother fighting for her child. It is a story about trying to create a better life for her family. And all of these are so important themes that so many people are dealing with. And I wanted to show how someone in her position, under her circumstances, with all the odds stacked against her, how she could find a way to survive and thrive and beat the odds and, find her own path, find her own voice, and make her own rules.
And was the idea of incorporating a Southeast cast of main characters, was that your idea?
It was as well. In the original version, she was actually a single mom. And so the character of Fiona and the whole family is new to the US version. And I really wanted to create a home for Tony and her son and just to really show the warmth of this amazing family and how they really support each other and build each other up despite the circumstances that they're under, despite that, both, Tony and Fiona are both undocumented, but really they're people trying to survive just like everyone else. They're people who are trying to do their best for their families. And they have to make compromises and sacrifices. And that, again, is such a real grounded story. And that's what I felt was important to tell and the show I wanted to create.
And I think what was so special, and I think one of the first things that caught my eye was Tony's character. She's Cambodian, but she was living in the Philippines. Was that always the plan? I know that, Elodie, you are Cambodian yourself. Was that worked in, or was that always the story?
When we found Élodie, we knew that she was an extraordinary talent that we had to cast in this role. And instead of forcing her background into being a Filipino character, we thought it just made sense to take her for who she was and everything that she brought and her background and history as Cambodian, but also to still tell the Filipino side of the story. And, there are many types of people and different minorities in other countries. So just because you're from the Philippines doesn't mean you're Filipino. There are Cambodians and Chinese and Japanese and all kinds of different cultures. And we thought actually this made the character and the story even stronger because it allowed us to basically embrace both cultures and explore both cultures and really, bring that to the forefront.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. Yeah, I just thought that was so unique. And her character in general is so strong, it's so raw and very inspirational. I really like that she's such a strong person who's very sure of herself. She knows her worth, and her story for struggling to support her family is definitely so relatable. So Elodie, how did you get involved with the show and what drew you to your character?
Well, I think you said it, that she's raw. There's some, that is something that definitely tapped into to bring her to life, because she just has to respond on the spot. So many things are thrown at her that all the emotions are kind of there, and if it's not out, it's just like it's bubbling here. It's definitely a raw character. She does have strength, but I think it's something that she is discovering as, you know, she has to face those horrible moments and navigate situations that she didn't ask for. She will come across, I believe, as someone who's strong, and she tries to keep it together, but we can only really portray the strength of this woman. We can only do this by showing her vulnerability, by showing the love, the depth of the love she has for her son, the loneliness she finds herself into, not being able to share with her husband, not being able to share with her sister-in-law, you know, everything she's going through. So she has to keep it together, but it's at a cost. I don't think it's a bliss for her. I think she has to find resilience and has to find ways to overcome every time, you know, those emotional hits that she's facing. It's a hard journey, and but, you know, even though at the beginning she's stripped from her status, her power, and she, you know, she was a surgeon, she's a cleaning lady, she's thrown in a country that is not hers, and she has to navigate the medical system, and then there's a crime scene. She'll find her bearings, she'll find her new ways, and she'll find her inner strength.
And I guess last question, what is the importance of having not just Asian representation, but Southeast Asian representation? I think that this is one of the first stories where there's not only Cambodians, but Filipina characters in a story. What is the importance of having these roles and these people playing these roles?
To me, it just means that future generations are going to see themselves, if they have the background that I have, or Martha's background, they're going to just see themselves represented at home, you know, on this TV show that they like. And it will give, I'm hoping, like confidence to these kids, and say, well, we have a place in this world, and we have a voice, and we're seen, and we can do more, you know. I didn't have that growing up. Like I told you, I'm an old lady, and I'm from the 80s, 90s, and I didn't have that. And I have carried this so long, really trying to fight for my place, and then sometimes maybe screaming a little too loud to be heard, because I could not, because I didn't have the confidence that I had a place in this industry, in this world. So I am really happy and positive and hopeful that this is going to open doors and, you know, bring confidence and empower young generations. Say, you got a voice, you got a place like anybody else.
Yeah, I think it's so important to create these positive, strong role models, and also to show that these stories matter, these characters matter, and these people matter. And for so long, you know, a lot of these people have been marginalized and pushed in the shadows and told that they don't matter, that they're not important, that they're disregarded. And this is a way to show through Tony's character that, you know, you do count, and you know, you have a voice, and it matters to the world.
And I just want to add also, there is the cultural aspect, but to me, on a personal level, it's always been like a dream of mine to talk about someone who does this type of job. My mom, her whole life, she's worked in a supermarket, and so many times she's been, how to say, looked down. Help me, Miranda. Look down on her. Is that English? You know, and to me, it's always been something that I care so much about. I want to talk about these people because I don't care that much about talking about superheroes. You know, in my life, she's been my hero. My dad's been my hero. And there are normal people. They're doing regular jobs, you know, and not non-gratifying jobs, but they do exist, and they have a place, and it's so great we can put it out there in a fiction, in a story, and then bring it to people. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, and what makes this character a hero in her own right is because she will stand up for herself, she will stand up for others, and she will do her best to help others, even at a risk to herself. And that, you know, she has an internal strength and fortitude and resilience. And that's what makes her a hero.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that within the show. So thank you guys both so much for talking with us.
Thank
and
you.
I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so
You
much.
too. Take care.